Hello guys, and welcome to this tutorial. We are going to work a little bit on the free response questions, or the first free response problem that you have for the AP exam practice test. Now, it's very important that when you do every free response, be sure where you're located. For the first problem you have, this is a class called Word Scrambler. You don't have to worry about the runner of this class. The runner of this class is where the public static void method is. The Word Scrambler would be a class that would be used by the Wordle class or whatever public static void method that you have. So you don't have to worry about that. It's very important that you remember where you have to write the code. Now, it says the part that we need, the first part says, write the Word Scrambler method Recombine. This method returns a string created from its two string parameters as follows. Now, if we have the Word Scrambler, and here I'm gonna show you an example of the Word Scrambler. This is something that you have on your problem. You have it more or less like this. Now, the method Recombine is empty, and the method mix word is empty. Okay? They give you the parameters of Recombine, and this is very important, and it says take the first half of word 1 and take the second half of word 2. When you look at this method Recombine, you see that he's expecting a string called word 1 and he's expecting a string called word 2. You don't have to worry about it because you know that the parameters that he is going to input on the runner need to have a word 1 and the word 2, needs two strings. So you have to input the code here, and what you have to think about is, how am I going to use the first half of word 1 and then concatenate it to the second half of word 2 and return that. Remember that this is private string, so this is an accessor method that needs to be recombined. Okay? So let's go to the runner in order for this to work. In order for this to work, I need, of course, I need an array, right? Let's call it a word array, words, okay? And equals new string, and let's say we have 4 in this array. Okay. Now we have an array of strings that the length is 4, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put in this position, in position 0, I am going to put the word mouse. Okay? And then I'm going to do it with some more. Okay, and here I'm going to change it to elephant. I'm going to put 4 different animals, and here's how I create. I put inside the position, I put a string, okay? And dog. Okay, a mouse, a dog, a tiger, and an elephant. In position 0, in position 1, in position 2, and in position 3. Now I have an array called words on the runner that has this, right? Now when I use, or when I call the Word Scrambler, because remember that the Word Scrambler here has, of course, it has a constructor method called Word Scrambler. When I create this Word Scrambler, I need to put an array on the parameters. As I said, you don't have to worry about this because you only have to add this method over here. Okay? In order for it to work completely, that's why I'm also creating the runner class. If I want to use the Recombine method, I have to create a Word Scrambler object. New Word Scrambler, and I'm going to call it ABC. Remember how you create a new object from a class. Okay, so I created an object called ABC from the class Word Scrambler in order for it to work, and then apply the two methods that I have here that is called Recombine and Mixed Words. Okay, now after I do this, I created the ABC object. I'm going to go to the Recombine. And here's where you guys have to create the code. You don't have to worry about anything else. Only this section of the problem. How do I create a method that gets the first half of word 1 and then the second half of word 2, concatenate it, and then return it when I use it? Okay? Now if I say, first of all, in order to recombine them, I need to create maybe a string called ABC, or a string called new word 3. Okay, let's create a string called word 3, and let's see, word 3 is going to be equal to substring to word 1 dot substring. Okay, now in substring, if you remember the method substring of the string class, this first argument would be from where does it need to start. So what I'm going to do is that start in the position 0 of that string all the way to word 1 dot length divided half. And that way I would get the first half of the word. Okay? Understand? Plus, and here I'm getting this. Okay? Now I'm getting the first half of the word. Now how do you concatenate it? I just use plus word 2 substring. Now the second half would be just word 2 dot length and that is it. Okay, let's see, I'm going to put it down here so you can see it. Now I have that word 3. Word 3 would be the string, and this would be the string completely concatenated. Now after okay, as we can see, the constructor method of Word Scrambler uses a method called mixed words, and this would be the second part of our free response problem. Create the mixed words. The mixed word says that write the Word Scrambler method mixed words. This method creates and returns a new array of string objects as follows. It takes the first pair of strings and words and combines them to produce a pair of strings to be included in the array returned by the method. There's an example there. So the example says that if there's mouse and dog, he is going to put on the position 0, I don't know, mug. He's going to recombine these two, like the first half with the second half of this position 1. And then on the position 1 of the new array, he's going to combine the first half of dog with the second half of mouse. Okay, in this case is going to be the first part of dog with the second part of mouse. Then he's going to put on this one position number 2 with the second half of position number 3, and would be elephant, and of course here would combine the first half of position 3 with the second half of position 1. So here will be elephant. Okay? So here we have the new array. This is how the program needs to work. Now with mixed words, in mixed words, you have to create a loop because he has to go throughout the whole array. One of the preconditions of this program is that the array has to be even, okay? With an odd number of elements in the array, it wouldn't work because you have to combine 0 with 1, 1 with 0, then 1 with 2, 2 with 1, and so on. Okay? And that's how it works. That's why it has to be even. When I create the word Scrambler, when I create this new object, the object already has the mixed words and everything. So we're going to focus on the second part of mixed words. And here we are going to create a new array where we have to put the results. So we have string result, new string of arrays, and it has to be the same length. Of course, you want to use the words.length. So we created the new string, an array of strings called result, where we're going to have the mixed words. And here in this method, of course, we are going to use the recombine method. Okay? Very well. So we create a new string with the length of the words array. So this is the length. And we're going to create a loop. For in k equals 0 to k equal the word's length, okay? We are going to, remember that we're going to do it in pairs. So it has to be, every loop has to do it with 0, 1, so the first and the second, and then the second and the first. Okay? So what we're going to do is k to k, k equal k plus 2. Okay? Here we're going to make this loop go in pairs. Okay, so we're going to say it from k equals 0 to k equals the length and go in pairs, like from 0 to 2. In this case, we're going to recombine. You have to use the method recombine. And recombine the array. So we are going to recombine the array words in the position k, okay, in the position k, right, with words in the position k plus 1. So he would do it in position 0 and 1, right? He's recombining those two in this one. And we're taking it to the result. To the result. And pasting it in position k. It would be in position 0. So the array result in the position 0 will recombine word in the position 0 with word in the position 1. Right? But he also has to, in this same loop, in k in the position 1, right, recombine words in the position k plus 1, so this would be the first parameter now, with words in the position k. So what I'm doing is that in 0, I'm recombining these two, 0 and 1, and in position 1, I'm recombining 1 and 0. After the loop goes out, it's going to be k equal 2. As I was saying, when the loop finishes, he is going to work on all the different iterations in this method. Okay? Okay, on this part, on the 4, make sure that you have it correctly written. Remember, that is k equals 0 to k less than words dot length, and k equal k plus 2. If we leave it k like this, he will have an assignment. He needs to know where to be assigned. So we'll write k equals k plus 2. So every time k is updated from 0 to 2 to 4, etc. This 4 will do the iterations between 0 and 1, then 1 and 2, etc. Okay? Now here I close the 4, and here I close the other loop. Okay, so as we know, this method is also an accessor method, so he has to return something. We're going to write return result. Okay? And he returns result to the scrambled words. Okay? And he created a mixed array. Ready? Method. What you had to understand at the beginning of the problem is that creating a word scrambler object would mix the words and return this method, or the constructor method, would return a mixed words. Okay? Would return all the recombined words inside an array. Okay, in order to see if the scrambled words are working, in the constructor method we see that the mixed words are assigned to scrambled words. Now this is an array. If I want to see the words, I would use, I don't know, maybe a 4 to go across the array. So let's use a 4 to 0 to, from I equals 0 to I less than scrambled words dot length, and I plus plus, in order to see how it worked. Okay, and I want to show print line scrambled words in the position I, and we can see that. Okay, so after creating the loop in order to go around my array, I'm going to click on play, and here I'm getting the new array with the combination or recombining the words. You can see mouse and dog, okay, mog, and then dukes. Okay, now he can recombine 0 and 1 with 1 and 2, and so forth. Okay, so that's how we now in order to get all the points in this problem, you only have to create the recombine, have this, okay, and for the mixed words you had only to create the new array and make these adjustments. So let me show you how to create, or how would you earn the points in this free response part. Okay, now in order to get the points for the first part, the recombine will give you 4 points and the mixed word will give you 5 points. Now if you extract the first half of word 1, you will get 1 point for the attempt, so you must call substring. If you use substring with the 2 parameters, you will get half a point and another half a point if it's correct. Now the attempt is always good, like the attempt will give you half a point. Okay, now you must call the substring with at least 1 parameter in order to get the second word, to get the second half of the word, and if you get it correct, you get the other point. And of course, if you use the plus sign to concatenate, you will have the other point. Now the last point is the return. Remember that from an accessor method, you need to have a return. Otherwise, it's not going to return anything. So be careful when it's either a accessor method or a mutator method. Okay? Now on the mixed words, you will get 5 points if you create the loop through the words. Okay? If you create a loop through the words where you have k equals 0 to k equal word length, and you do it you go through it 0 to 4, then you will have for the attempt half a point, and if you do the correct loop, you will get another half a point. So this is the explanation of how to get the 5 points of these words. So it was pretty simple. If you get these two correct, you will earn 9 points already that are worth 9 multiple choice questions. So it's very, very nice that you do this.